Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Rochford Files. This is your host, Andrew Rochford, and this is also the first official clip that I'm recording since coming off of my 3-month-long hiatus. And this is a very important local story going on right here with the King Soopers worker strike, which is nearly a week in. I would have done a video right at the beginning of it, but I didn't officially make my return until a couple days ago. But the good news is there's plenty of developments that it is important to go over since they've been on strike for almost a week from tomorrow. So let's dive right in. So this is the first thing from More Perfect Union providing this video. So let's take a quick look at it. So overall, that's a very encouraging sign that I'm seeing right here is the people by and large are having solidarity for these workers because these King Soopers workers and Kroger workers all over the country are being underpaid, overworked, and disrespected. As you'll notice that a lot of workers have to rely on assistance in addition to the salary that they're getting paid to work at King Soopers and other Kroger stores all over the country. And we got 8,000 plus King Soopers workers striking here in the state of Colorado. And the good news is overall, you're seeing stores look pretty empty. Just like this. But let's go over to this update from Dave Jamieson, who is a Huffington Post labor reporter. And that update is after 4 days of bargaining, they have seen little to no progress with company. They still refuse to address the concerns and needs of our members, UFC W7 President Kim Cordova says, as the strike will continue. So that overall means that management, by and large, is not willing to negotiate in good faith with these workers whatsoever. These people last year were called essential workers when they had to be the ones who continue to go to work day in and day out while a lot of other people got to work from home, or they were either laid off and they had what was considered essential work since everyone needs food. But we've seen Kroger walk back some of the temporary benefits that they had gained from the early part of COVID. And to further elaborate on this, this is a photo from Liz Schuler. And she also broke a strike update as well earlier today. She said King Soopers management stormed from the meeting table, claiming they could not meet the wages workers deserve. Yet they openly recruit scabs for 18 an hour. So how fucked up is that? You've got workers, many of who are making the lower end of the pay range. Whenever you see those Kroger signs listing the positions in the pay range, they're always paying the low end. Yet, to show you how badly that they don't want to give workers the proper rights that they deserve, they'll pay the scab workers 18 an hour and continue to make their union workers eat shit. And we can't have that. And what I'm going to say is I've been keeping tabs on many of these big strikes as I've covered a few of these stories throughout the time since I've had the Rochford Files active, whether that's the Frito-Lay strike, Nabisco. I've talked a bit about John Deere as well. And a couple other big strikes happened while I was on hiatus. But there's going to be one common theme here. These are going to be some lengthy strikes. I mean, some Massachusetts healthcare workers ended up being on strike for several months before they got a hard-earned victory over the weekend. And I have to make sure that my community of Colorado is prepared for this to be a lengthy, long-term battle here. And that's what it's going to take to help these workers get the wages, benefits, and workers' rights they deserve. I'm expecting that this is going to go at least a month to 6 weeks at minimum. But as we've seen through all the random strikes popping up throughout the country, none of these strikes are particularly short. I think the minimum is that 4 to 6 week range that I have mentioned. But there's even more recent development to the strike, which Kyle Clark of 9 News just recently broke over 3 hours ago. King Soopers is seeking a temporary restraining order that would limit UFCW 7 to 5 or fewer pickets at each store to keep them at least 10 feet from store property, including parking lots and walkways. And what's already happening is they're using some of those newly hired security workers already to make sure picketing workers are kept at a distance. King Soopers complaints allege striking workers harassed and blocked employees, customers, and vendors from grocery store locations. So tell me, what is it that this is designed to do? This is union busting tactics 101 right here. And this line from the second tweet in the thread from Kyle Clark is pure propaganda. Are there probably some anti-union bootlickers who look to agitate these striking workers? Yes, I bet there are some of those people who do that as they cross the picket line. But what you're going to see here is this gets crazy. Union leaders called the complaint unfounded, saying in a written statement, "We continue to call on everyone involved to not allow these baseless allegations and bullying tactics to distract us from what is important." King Soopers' complaint alleges, among other incidents, that picketers were smoking marijuana and pouring vodka shots on the loading dock at the Chestnut Place store and invited the store manager to join them. And for those who don't know, the Chestnut location is the one that's in Lodo area. So this right here is another example of how propaganda from management is starting to get more far-fetched. King Soopers' complaint says in Commerce City, a picketer commandeered a King Soopers motorized handicap accessibility scooter and used it to patrol the store's entrance while screaming at shoppers. Scooter has since been out of commission because the power cord has vanished. Does that really sound like something that would happen with real life? That to me sounds like they're describing a scene out of the show Superstore. And they really want you to believe that that would happen in real life? The complaint details confrontations with shoppers, including a female picketer shouted at a male customer, "You need to fucking shop at Walmart." Male customer shouted, "I can fucking shop wherever I want." The picketer and customer then flipped each other off. And this, once again, is what I alluded to, probably a moment where the details of this are being flipped around to make the company look good, a lot in the way that happens with propaganda. King Soopers alleges that picketers at the West Florida store in Denver, and in fact, that was the first King Soopers I went to regularly growing up, in Denver, harassed customers and had mean faces. The female customer reported a male picketer was super aggressive towards her, yelling at her with an angry face. Once again, this is another example of amplifying a random Karen. The same ones who are telling these people that unions are stupid. The complaint says picketers at stores in Highlands Ranch, Lakewood, Denver, and Glendale shouted at customers that the food inside was spoiled. But management says the food is not spoiled. King Soopers request for a temporary restraining order. But what I can't tell you is no one is able to maintain the store among the small percentage of scab workers, which is another encouraging part, is how people refuse to do that. And what we've seen is, where's the management trying to make sure this store is staying afloat? Because in that video I showed you, posted by More Perfect Union, the management's not doing it. And if they want those stores full again, and not to look like the communist straw man that capitalists like to use, then they're going to have to start to get into serious negotiations and start to really be in good faith with these workers. Otherwise, the longer this goes on, I think this community is prepared to hold on and keep the solidarity with these workers.